when the new 5 came out, I wanted to actually merge a couple hobbies here. Connection between hobbies. You see the background I had on my pictures is actually called a Geocoin, and they're about 1 3/4 inches in diameter. This one has, not only is it trackable, but it alludes to another one down here on the reverse of it. It actually has a spinner on there so you can develop puzzles and codes. So you just have to know what the offset is, just like a Caesar shift, and you can set up the glyphs in there for it. So I gave a presentation quite a few years ago on the geocoins, and I was working with the actual geocache. Somebody had asked me to work with that at this point, and I'm sorry. Susie, are you?
From 1150 plan.
So I took a new 5 and I made a puzzle quiz and a puzzle geocache out. There are a number of different types of geocaches. There's just the regular traditional one where you just put the coordinates out, and depending on the size of the container and how. For those that are not familiar with geocaching, it's using billion-dollar satellites to find Tupperware in the woods. So you actually put in the coordinates that you're given from the geocaching site, and you go out and you search and you find what was hidden, and you can at that point sign a physical log, and then you sign a virtual log online. So it's blending well with what's going on today. You stay apart from each other, and you try to not have people see you when you find what you're looking for. So I decided that I'd like to teach people about what the new 5 was. So usually there's what they call a first to find prize in it. So usually it's something small, like a Eisenhower dollar I did one time and stuff, but this time I put a brand new 5 in it. So it was like me hiding 5 caches all at once. So I put some fairly high resolution pictures out, as you can see. And so somebody can zoom in and look at it. There's where the close eye comes in. Made the puzzle up, and I just wanted to make it up and have somebody have to go through quite a few steps looking at it, seeing some of the anti-counterfeiting techniques and stuff like that. So we looked at it. We'll go into each one of the things a little bit in detail, but if you look down here at the bottom, you've got the north and the west coordinates, and then you've got some letters, and you've got to figure out what those are. I had what they call a coordinates checker in there, but they've since taken that web page down. So they've got to call me now, and I'll tell them if they've got the right ones. So that works out well. So I did some helping pictures. Somebody just asked me if they didn't feel safe going to the bank to get a 5. So I sent some pictures to them. That's what started me thinking I could do a PowerPoint up of it. So here are all the yellow 5s that are on the obverse. The yellow 5s on the reverse. In the shield, I've got a couple of the questions about the long phrase, e pluribus unum, and then the repeating US. Those are all micro printing. This is enlarged quite a bit because this piece is the stem of the F for 5 in the seal. So you can see how it is. Some people were getting confused here because of the overprinting that went over top. You can just barely see the US in there. So another part of the bill is the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and they had to take quite a bit of liberty with the engraving on the bill. They couldn't get things in, and as you can see, the engraving here for where's my mouse? I can't find that in the white background. I'm sorry. I'm not finding my mouse at all. But the Florida, you can see how it's, and I taught myself today when I was doing this a little bit more about the Lincoln Memorial. I didn't realize there were 2 complete rings of states' names and dates that they came into the Union. And I didn't know that they were in the order that they came into the Union, stuff like that. So the bottom frieze, I got my mouse back. The bottom frieze down here with the wreaths between them, there's 36 of those. Those were the states that were there when Lincoln was killed. And then the top frieze, or they call it the attic frieze, was all 48 when the monument was actually made. So one of the questions was, what's not carved in stone? And we'll get to the solving it a little bit later, but if you look at what is there now down on the, well, my mouse doesn't work again. So it must be when it's at the regular size picture that it's not working. But you can see that the names of the states were there. And on the lower frieze, you see New York all the way over to the right, then Virginia, then Hampshire and Carolina. Not knowing that they were in the order that they came into the Union, I didn't know if it was North or South Carolina, so it didn't make too much difference, because one of the things that I had in there was how many letters in it, and both North and South had the same number of letters. So that didn't make a huge bit of difference there. But then I started looking, I saw Delaware all the way over to the left, and then Pennsylvania. And I started thinking about state quarters. I said, that's in the same order that state quarters came out on. And sure enough, they're right straight down the line. If you look at the one of the features on the reverse, there's some micro printing, and that micro printing is the I got my mouse back because I changed the magnification. US 5. So we can see that. Now, if I go further, we're going to have spoilers. But what I wanted to really say here is that calculus and trig are fine, and some people use them daily, but we use algebra constantly in all of our everyday use. And we got to use it to keep ourselves strong in it. But you can see the differential calculus has to do with variables and stuff. And then the trig, the Pythagorean theorem about a squared plus b squared is c squared. You've got trig there, but algebra, we're figuring out how many quarters are in a dollar, how many dimes are in a dollar, and stuff like that. So that's always part of it. So now if we look to solving the geocache puzzle, I broke down the stars, or the fives, so they were in discrete groups, so you could keep track of them. And we've got 30 on the obverse, 33 on the reverse. So we'll look at the puzzle there. If you look at the micro printing, you've got 3 groups of E pluribus unum, and there's 13 characters in each one of those groups. And the US is repeated 7 times across in the plain bar. Now you can see the Carolina, and the Hampshire, how it would have been portrayed on the exact monument. They didn't have the capability to do the printing onto the plates and stuff, the carving. So they took some liberties, and you can see they took some other liberties. They didn't put the dates in, so as you like that they're in Roman numerals. But there's 8 letters. That was one of the things to look at. On the 5, there were 2 phrases, the US 5, so there's number 2 for that one. Number of stars to the left of Lincoln, there's 10. I was going to put a star note up here, and then I thought, no, that will be confusing to somebody. Next question was how many 5s of similar size were on there, and there's 4 on the obverse and 3 on the reverse. Even though 1 over the lower left-hand corners is slightly larger, it's not as large as what the 5 is on the other side. Excuse me. So we solved the puzzle. The yellow 5s were 30 and 33. And so A plus B equals 63. And it equals 63. A plus B equals what? So if A plus B is 63, if you add the numerals together, you get 9. So that was the answer for C. D, how many 3-letter letters in the 3-word phrase within the shield? And you can't do it with a naked eye. You've got to have some magnification. And there were 13 letters. So you took the digits and added those at this point and came up with 4. And how many times does a 3-letter abbreviation show up in the shield? That was 7 times across it. And so on as you go down through the numbers here. I won't just verbatim put them off to you. No, I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. So we look at what the puzzle said. We're looking for 4 numbers to be put into each set of the north and the west coordinates. So I labeled them S through V for the west and W through Z for the north. I probably should have done that the other way around. It would have been in alphabetical order, but I didn't. So we look at what we have to substitute in. So the S is actually F. Go up to the top and see that F was 8. The T was one of the characters for the numbers of 5s, and G was the 7 letters. And I had to be able to massage those around a little bit, so I just shoved another what do you want to call it? Number in there so we could get that down to where it was. The U and the V. So now we've got the west all done at 8.032, and we have to work on the north. And the north ended up W is 9 because that was where did we go? I lost my spot. So W equals C, and C was the 9 up to the top. X, we got a couple things to add together, and I had to put a couple other placeholders in there to get that down to the right. It would have been easy just to call 7 again, but I didn't want to do that. And then Y is one that sort of tripped me up a little bit. I was not looking at what I was doing, and didn't take the 5 away with the G. And then Z came out for another short equation. So those coordinates checked and went through onto the other one from my cache page, and they matched exactly. So hope I didn't bore you too much with the equations. Are there any questions about it?
So I looked on a map to see where that pointed to.
We're
I found,
Raw Park over in Penfield.
yep.
One of the last people that just found it put in the cache that they've been to that park exactly one time, and he's there now. So it was an old farm that they whoever had the farm evidently gave it to the town or sold it to the town, and they've made a huge well, soccer fields and other ball type of fields there, but they left the back part of it, which connects to the 1,000-acre swamp, as the connection point. That's where this is, in the back part. So it's a nice hike to go through there and get to it. So
What's the picture behind you, Chip?
that's a Geocoin. And I've got that here. It's about 1.5 inches. Oh, you can't see it with the.
Oh,
I'll go to none just a second here.
it's not something you made.
No, it's something I bought. It's a
Mm-hmm.
coin there, and then that was in the presentations, the one with the spinner on the back. I probably got about 100 of these different type of ones, and the ones that are the puzzle ones, I use those quite a bit to make up other puzzles. John, you're muted if you're saying something.